We are live here from the TulipDAO. My name is Trading Tulips, the founder of the TulipDAO. We provide services for new protocols as well as jump-starting services. If you are interested, contact us. We are here today with the Solar Protocol, who is coming to Fantom Chain. They are a passive income model, or they are based around a passive income model. They provide passive yields through NFTs that are basically nodes that give you rewards over time. There's going to be some really cool features that are going to be rolled out at launch and post-launch, and we are excited to talk with the team and figure out how this thing works and what's going to make it sustainable and how is this possible. So welcome, guys, to Alex. Welcome, Kinsu.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Really excited to get started with the AMA, and I hope you can roast me with your questions as you've been bragging all week.
Oh, I'm going to dig in.
You better do.
Yeah, the thing that sucks is when there's solid devs and like real innovations happening, there isn't like too much grilling to be done. So sometimes AMAs are easy and we just get to figure out some cool shit. So let's hope that that's what it is. And
both ways is a win for me.
Exactly. Agreed. All right. Well, to start off, if you could give us some background about yourself and about Alex, if you could, or if Alex introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Kinsey. I'm one of the founders and lead developer at Solar Protocol. I have a background in software engineering, have a couple degrees related to it. I've got Web 2 experience when it comes to development. I've done just a little bit of everything, some phone apps, some websites, some backend development, some desktop apps. Just, been a bit all over the place until I found my passion, which is website development. And that's what I've been doing for the past, I believe, 10 months on the DeFi space. I've been developing cool website for NFT projects, DeFi projects, just anything that I could get my hands into. And for the past 4 or 6 months, I've been developing and working hard on Solar behind the scenes. And tomorrow we've got our pre-sale. I'm extremely excited to show what we've built and the idea that we've been refining for the past 4 months.
Yeah, I've seen firsthand how quickly you learn in new environments and how much you've been growing just in the past few months. So I can attest to that.
For sure.
Alex,
TulipDAO has been a place where I've learned a lot, especially about DeFi and the Web3 world in general. I was a bit naive before I got to know you guys, but I've learned a lot and grown a lot since then.
It's excellent. I'm glad that we could be part of the process, man. It's great to see growth, and it's great to see big brains who are here for the innovations and here for the tech for real. So good stuff, man. Alex, if you could just introduce yourself for us and let us know a bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Alex. I'm the co-founder and project manager of Solar. I've been working with Kinshu ever since the start. It was an idea we both had back in January or so, and we ended up like working really hard and just putting a lot of effort and time, and we managed to pull it off. Tomorrow's pre-sale. I'm very excited. As of my background, I'm a networking engineer. I've got some experience in cybersecurity. Been working at a cybersecurity company. Been in DeFi for around a year now, more or less, and just been touching a bunch of stuff. And throughout my time in crypto overall, and DeFi was definitely my place to be. And that's actually where Kinj and I reunited after lots of years of knowing each other, and just really happy to be here.
Excellent, thank you. I know that you guys have a large team. If you could just kind of touch on how many people are on the team and kind of maybe what their roles are specifically.
Sure. Let me just open up our documentation to make sure I don't miss anyone because I've got a really bad memory. Know the team. Okay, so when it comes to development, we've got me. I do the website development. I'm in charge of the dApp and everything web related. When it comes to Solidity and blockchain development in general, we've got 3 team members. One of them being OX Fluffybeard. He alongside Brandon and Life, are all in charge of developing our contracts and have been working very hard behind the scenes to bring together an idea through, I'd say an innovative path. We're not taking the classic approach. We've written everything from scratch. We've got a really cool architecture behind our contracts, and we've got some features I personally haven't seen anywhere. So I'm extremely excited to show everyone with what we have been building and what we will be building in the future. We've got a very talented development team behind Solar, and I'm extremely excited to show what we're capable of. Now, when it comes to the money stuff, we've got two people in charge of that. We've got a financial advisor, Racer. Does TA. He's been trader, entrepreneur. My guy is just crack when it comes to charts. Like, I just see funny lines, and this guy just Bitcoin's gonna hit this level here, then it's gonna bounce back here, and then he does his magic. He does it well, and
I've seen firsthand. He's very in tune with all markets. Yes, for sure.
I'd rather let Tulip say it. He's got way more of an idea about TA and market stuff than I do, so you can take his word for it as well as mine. This guy is fit for the job, if anything. And then we've got Trading Tulips himself as a strategic advisor. He's going to be helping us in creating bridges with other projects and coming up with strategies and different ways how we can grow Solar as a project and as a brand. Finding new potential partnerships and cool collaborations we can make with other projects, and for ourselves as well.
Most definitely.
Now we've also got a new marketing manager that just joined just today after the previous one. We had to part ways with him. It's Voids. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with him. Although he's an artist, he's proven to be really good at networking and community management within the DeFi space. And that's what drew me towards him when it comes to this role. And I'm sure, he's done great on his first day at the job, and I'm sure he will keep on doing amazingly in the future. We've also got a staff manager and accountant, Levi, fully qualified, chartered, certified accountant on the UK, and he runs his own accounting firm. So we're taking a more traditional approach when it comes to earnings. We want to be extremely transparent with everything we do, and one of the steps we're taking for that is having someone in charge of our accounting, keeping track of where we spend money, where we are earning it, how much we're earning, how much we're spending, and we'll be releasing earning reports we still haven't decided on a date yet, or a period, better said.
Since we're here, can you touch on the security of the funds and how you'll be securing them?
Sure. So we've got, both Alex and I are KYC'd with the TulipDAO. I'm publicly doxed on my own Twitter. And all the funds, any contract changes, anything that's related in one way or another, or that could influence somehow the investors' funds, has to go through our multi-signature wallet, 2 out of 2. I know it's not many people, but I don't think we need many people as long as the trust is in the right place. And I believe the right place is on KYC founders, and I'm publicly doxed. I'm not afraid to show who I am. I'm not going to do anything sketchy or dodgy. If I do, you guys better hold me accountable.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
It's my reputation on the line too. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to come to that, but
of course not.
It's always nice to have that safety measure. Should things go wrong.
Of course. I mean, geographically, I know very specifically which parts of which country he's from and everything. So there's no hiding in this situation. It's very, very secure here. Even regardless, this is the hardest question that we're going to be getting, and it's is there a conflict of interest with the closeness of TulipDAO and Solar and the services being provided, etc. And the short answer is no. There is no conflict of interest, because there's no way that I would be putting my name and my stamp on something, or putting my reputation at risk for everything that I've built just for whatever this might be, right? And that's my side of things, and Kinsu has his own reasonings as well, if you want to share those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I quit my Web2 job to be able to build cool stuff, and that's DeFi and Web3 has allowed me to do that, and I would love nothing more than to be able to build all the cool, crazy ideas that come to my mind in the future to come. And if I can do that in a form where I'm also earning money and I can survive, that's even better. So why would I put myself in a position where I can no longer do what I love? It's not logical for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been very clear ever since we met Kinsu that he's here for the long term, and he's here to build and to learn and to grow in the space. And if you guys pay much attention, you will notice the same thing. So we are happy to be collaborating and working together to help lift solar up to where they belong to be, and ready and excited for what's coming. So yeah.
Me too.
On to the next. So I'm getting this question a lot. There's a lot of talk about Horde and how the marketing has been, promoting that it's a similar model to Horde, which it is, utilizing a stable price bot. But if you could just illuminate the audience on how Solar differs from Horde and how it is not a fork.
I mean, it's easier to say how we are similar. The only similar thing we've got to Horde is the way we approach the stable price. And even then, it's just the idea that's the same. The approach we're taking is entirely different. But the idea is, we keep the price within a designated range, and that's our only similarity with fork. When it comes to the long-term success of the project, both projects have a very different approach. Horde are working towards making a play-to-earn game, and I wish them the best. But we're taking a more service-oriented route where we are going to be providing development services. We're going to be building projects under the name of Solar, and the revenue those project generates goes back to start holders. Solar is a way to bootstrap our network of products and services that we'll be providing, a way to get us up on our feet, and so we can start walking. And by walking, we'll be providing part of the returns we make back to all of our investors. And if at one point you no longer want to have a share of the company, you can sell it on an NFT marketplace, because that's the problem we've seen with most of these node kind of projects, where you lock your tokens in an asset that becomes illiquid. So what we're trying to achieve here is making this asset where you've locked your tokens liquid in a way where you can, at any point, maybe circumstances in life change and you now need the money. So you can sell your share of the company at any given time once we transition towards a revenue share model, and you can exit your investment. You're not locked in forever as you are with projects such as Strong, where price it's more expensive to claim the tokens than it is to the money you receive.
Yeah, that's a big thing, right? I've even seen questions of people asking, how are you different from Strong? and I don't think we even need to touch on that, but the basic thing that people need to remember is most node forks or any forks that pop up are usually done without much imagination, without much planning, without much business development experience, without all of the things that are needed to really make something successful. Luckily, through Kinsu's relationship building and networking, he has, put Solar in a very unique position to be a big player on Fantom. And I mean this. If people take this seriously and take this model seriously, we're going to have another large liquidity driver on chain with a very strong grasp of the market and the DeFi on Fantom. And what I mean by that is something like Liquid Driver that you see driving liquidity to different dexes or different protocols on Fantom, acquiring voting power and directing emissions and becoming a real powerhouse through this foundation that they built. Kinsu, if you could maybe touch on, well, first of all, I wanted to say one thing. If there's a lot of people who may be concerned about the development as a service and not being able to bring in enough income or not bring in what you expect. Now, have you had any customers yet, or how are you expecting sales to be looking, and how are you planning to grow and market that?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked. We already have a client. We haven't even launched, and we already got someone interested in working with us. That's not because of Solar's reputation. That's just because of our team's reputation. It's not the first project we've worked on, and on those we've worked in, people have seen what we're about and what we can do, and are interested in our skills. So Void Token is our first client when it comes to the development services. We'll be building their smart contracts and their DApp, and that will be a really good point of reference for new clients. What happened to the first client that Solar had? We'll be able to point them towards Void. They've got a really interesting idea, and we cannot wait to bring it to life and show it to everyone. And that's like, I'm hoping through Void we can show the quality, well, not only through Void, but also through our own product, we can show the quality that we can build. And there is so much I can say, but I'd much rather just show you what we can make rather than just promise and promise. It just takes a little bit longer.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and to add to that, Tulips, you said some people were asking if we weren't to have as many clients as we needed to actually sustain the protocol. Again, we're offering so many services, well over about 10 services, 10 different services. So that's a good starting point. And to add to that, we offer a service that's actually very needed during bull runs and just in general, which is smart contract development. Good and fast Solidity developers are just not a thing right now. There's very little of them, and we have 3 of them. We can offer smart contract development at a really high standard and really fast, because we're gonna be able to standardize a bunch of stuff and be able to produce all these services at a very fast rate.
Right.
So I think that's very important.
Could I ask? You're saying you're basically going to create all of these separate pieces, like create them modularly, so you're able to just
Exactly, yeah.
We've
And I'm
done
sure
this
Kinji
already.
can talk about that. Yeah, we've done this already, and we're gonna do it furthermore. Let's say someone asks us to do a certain bot that does certain thing. We don't have done that already. We haven't done that already. We can do that for our client, and then we can standardize that. So in the near future,
Right.
whenever someone asks for it, we can just change a couple of things, and it will be done within a week.
Right.
And it's something that someone else will take very long to do, maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
Yep.
And we're offering it's going to be really safe and it's going to be really fast. That's what we're offering. I don't think anyone can offer that right now.
Yeah, no, you're very right. Coming from somebody who is trustworthy and respected in the space, it's not really offered. And I think if you guys already have a client before launch, it says a lot, and I know that I have tapped Kinsu for some light dev work on our side, and the things that he is capable of with front end development and Web3 integrations is top level already. And he's very young in his career, so I am bullish on this guy. 100%. Yeah. Excellent. So I'm actually, we had some really good questions, and we had so many. So I'm going to kind of let the community drive this a little bit here. And then I'll just kind of, just drive it through a little bit of the, as we elaborate. Let's see. Are we going to need an exchange to provide our service? I don't think so. We will have an exchange. Do you want to touch on the let's touch on the launch and the exchange, where you're launching, what the liquidity pool looks like. Is there going to be any farming APRs available for people who are staking LPs, things like that? Let's go over that stuff.
Sure. So the DEX we've decided on launching with is BitFiboNex, not only because I like them as a platform. I believe they've got easily the best UX out there on Web3, or like at least at the top. But also the protocol is based on balancer. It's not your usual Uniswap fork AMM. It's a bit different. We're able to create liquidity pools, first of all, made up of more than 2 tokens. And even with 2 tokens, you can make them with different weights. What this allows us is to make our liquidity more effective, because at the beginning, we're going to have Kelvin, our ERC20 token, and USDC. One of them, we control the supply, therefore we can tweak it as we need, which is Kelvin, but USDC, we don't have as much control. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a 70% Kelvin and 30% USDC pool, therefore allowing our liquidity to be 20% more effective than it would be on a normal Uniswap AMM, Uniswap based AMM. This is just, first of all, this is amazing for any new project that's coming into the scene. I think all new projects should be taking this route, because the main problem most projects have at the beginning is, they face low liquidity, and it's really hard to keep liquidity locked into the protocol and gain new liquidity. So you gotta make it count, and basing our protocol on Beethoven X allows us to do exactly just that. We have more control over our liquidity, and that's something that's key with the stable price that we are trying to achieve. The more efficiently we can use our capital, the more longevity the project will have.
Yeah, I think that's huge. The 70, 30, 80, 20, the Beats 80-20 pool was very popular. I don't know if anybody remembers when, DeFi was really popping on Fantom just the last, 6 months ago or so, maybe 5 months ago. The Beats 80-20 pool was amazing for a long time. And yeah, if you can recreate any of that success, that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and then on top of that, whenever you create a liquidity pool on Beethoven X, it becomes inherently a farm. So you can provide liquidity while receiving rewards from all the swap fees. And our project, because of the way its architecture, will have inherently more volume due to our stable trading bot. So not only can you earn rewards through stars, there might be a point where it's more profitable for you to provide liquidity instead of locking your money away on stars. And okay, let's say you still want to lock it into stars because you believe in the long-term vision, or it's more profitable. You can still claim your Kelvin, put it in the LP in the meantime where you amass enough tokens to create your next star. It just, and that is allowing us to have a thicker liquidity, therefore a more stable price. It's a double win for both the protocol and the investors. You can make use of your tokens while you're waiting for to have enough tokens to compound again. It's the things this protocol is allowing us are amazing, and I cannot wait to further explore this partnership.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff. I really think it is. And the flexibility it allows you in the future too to create some cool some cool pools when we get some bullishness back in the markets.
Yeah.
Like
some partner pools, for example. Like, let's say we partner up with Protocol A, and then we swap some tokens, and the farm, we create a liquidity pair with maybe 30% our token, 30% our partner's token, and 40% Fantom, or 20% Fantom, 20% USDC. We can get creative, and it will allow us to, or maybe it's a 3-way partnership, and it's all 3 tokens. It allows us to make this really cool and less limited partnerships where we can benefit holders of both projects.
Yeah, that's great. And it also gives an opportunity for people who maybe can't afford a star, and they want to start farming to try to earn some more Kelvin in order to create a star. In that scenario, you could go zap in or you buy into the balancer pool or to the Beats pool and then farm until you have enough Kelvin in order to create your own star. So that's something else that is good and that people like. And as you're compounding, you can take your rewards and put them into the Beats pool and farm, and then essentially just keep earning until you can compound, and it helps you compound quicker. So that's a cool thing as well.
Yeah.
All right. ATF seems to have lost all of his trust in KYCs, and he's seen it to mean nothing ever since Atlas. Kinsu has been more than open, but how do we make sure that this doesn't happen and continue to happen where so-called docs people don't screw people over? If I may, really quick, this is why I wanted to start doing KYCs at the TulipDAO, for this exact reason. We do a lot of trading, and we do a lot of early finds and gem finding, and with that territory comes a lot of rugs and a lot of sketchiness, as we all know. So I mean, we started doing AMAs so that we could get developers in here and start grilling them about this stuff and start getting into what, why they were making the project, how long are they going to be here for, what's their background, etc. And once we realized that wasn't enough, it led to KYCs. And KYCs have been unsuccessful for a wide array of reasons, but namely, people think that they can get away with just providing their information to an agency, and that's it. That's all they do. What they do is they get a membership with a KYC service. They say they offer KYCs, and all they do is they take the documentation and they submit it to this company. And then it's like, that's all they do. Or like, there's a lot more that can be done to actually confirm who's touching the money, the right people who are being KYC'd, or ensuring that the people being KYC'd are the people who actually have access to those private keys, right? And one thing that we try to do to the best of our ability is make sure that anybody who has access to those private keys actually verifies on stream Web3 verification, sending a transaction from the deployer and from the treasury wallet. And if it requires a multi-sig, they need to all be there on stream with us. And in this case with Solar, they were, right? And this is the way that we're trying to upgrade the KYC industry and make things better. We're still in the infancy of doing this KYC thing, and yeah, we have done about, I believe, 5 or 6 now, and but the idea is that we are trying to change the mentality behind, or change that stigma that is attached to the KYC right now, and that's why we're branding it as KYC Plus. We're trying to make it be a leveled up version of the KYC. Sorry for the long rant, but I wanted it to be clear that we're trying to do things differently when it comes to the KYC.
Yeah, I could have said it better. Like, we could have done it with, either mind pointing fingers or sure DeFi. Yeah, I'm sure that one does a lot. We've seen it time and again. How many projects have rugged under that name? And what's been done? Fucking nothing. So by giving an opportunity to smaller communities or smaller companies such as the TulipDAO, you can ensure that they will do the right thing. Not only because it is the right thing to do, but because it's in their best interest to grow their brand and their reputation. Like, I'm sure Azure DeFi is taking a hit from all the projects that have rugged under their name. Like, maybe it's something I would have considered back in the day, but now that people like Atlas have rugged under their name and nothing's been done to pursue them, they are not going to see a dime of my money.
That's a good perspective as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the hardest questions we're going to be getting. So I like to make sure that it's very clear. What is the first partnership Solar's looking for?
I mean, the first partnership it's already there. It's with Void Token. They're our first client for our development services, which is a key part of our ecosystem and long-term sustainability idea. Other than that, we are working on a partnership with Beethoven X to releasing our liquidity there and having farms there, and having some emissions sent our way once we are big enough and acquire enough voting power. But I'm sure Tulips can give you more insights on that side of things because he's the one in charge of all that.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the goal I think is to take things slowly, but at first there's a soft partnership with Beethoven X right now. Hopefully that gets grown into a full partnership, and then we are looking at other strong players in the ecosystem that we'll be able to synergize with, and it's really going to come down to what is best for solar. So I don't want to say anything definitively right now, but there are some things that we're talking about. We've been discussing one of the top node protocols on Fantom. I'm sure you guys know what that is. But yeah, it's all flexible. We're all flexible still, so we're gonna wait to announce anything officially until we have something more solid. Let's jump into some tokenomics stuff if we could. We have the pre-sale coming up tomorrow. Before we get into the pre-sale, if we could, what are we looking at as far as buy tax, sales tax? What's the total supply? Is there going to be a claim tax? How is this all going to be working when we launch?
Sure. So first of all, in regards to token distribution, let me just drop an image on AMA chat as well, as I'll be talking about it. We have no team allocation. Like, none of the tokens are going towards paying the team. The team is getting paid entirely in its stables generated through the different fees and money we have acquired before launching the project. Now we've got a total supply of 1 million tokens. 2.5% of these tokens are going towards our stable price bot. 6% of our tokens are going towards our treasury for future treasury swaps and partnerships and whatever we need it for. 25% of our tokens are going towards our liquidity pool, and 66.5% of our tokens are going towards our rewards vault. These numbers are our initial distribution, but it all depends on how the pre-sale goes and how the market is treating us. We might move some more money towards some more tokens towards the SPP if we are like extremely successful and we're running out of tokens rapidly. If there is no sales, the bot cannot buy any more tokens, therefore it needs some more, and we can distribute them as we need. And I also wanted to address some concerns that have come up after some projects have literally just run out of tokens to give out. So because of the architecture we've taken with our contracts, if this was to be a problem, which I believe with the estimated growth we had, it would take 4 years to deplete our rewards. Well, hopefully that becomes a problem for us in the future. Like, I really hope running out of tokens is a problem for us, but I doubt it will happen. We can change the total supply. We can mint more tokens. We can transform it into an elastic token. We can make any changes necessary to ensure the protocol's longevity and safety. And don't get me wrong, these changes have to go through the multisig wallet. And I am a developer. I can look at the code and understand whether it's malicious or not. It's a problem we've seen with some projects where they hire dev, the dev goes rogue, or anything happens and the funds end up being stolen. I am the one in charge of looking over that, and I am the one that's KYC'd and dogs. And if I make any wrong decision, it's on me, and I'll face the consequences.
Right.
It's not going to happen, but should
yeah,
it
that's
happen?
That's a unique thing here for sure. Is that you are managing a lot of business operations as well as development, so you're uniquely positioned in that regard.
Yeah.
So 1 million total supply, and no team allocation at all.
None. It's something part of the team wanted because they're bullish on the project. They want to have some stars. They want to start reaping the rewards, but I was heavily against this. I want to have the least amount of sell pressure, especially coming from the team, as possible. And one of the measures for that is not paying the team in tokens.
It's almost like you want this project to succeed or something.
It's almost as if I've been thinking of this project on a daily basis for the past 4 months.
That is great. No, and to Dgen's point here, why not just lock him up? Because they don't need to. He's developed a system here. The system they've developed is self-sustaining. The flywheel should produce revenue for the team in other ways. So that's the whole idea here. It's very, very smart model. And
No, if we had to pay our team in our own tokens, we're fucked.
yeah,
Like at that point, we're not making enough money to keep this afloat.
I don't think
Like,
people know, but like Atlas team was paying out people in Atlas tokens at kind of a
well,
large
they
scale.
they promised they were going to, but at least they never did for me.
Well, they
But
were.
yeah,
I know for a fact they were paying some mods.
yeah,
At least
mods
some
had
mods from
like 10,
TulipDAO.
10,
10
20,
tokens.
10 tokens a month, and they were getting bonuses, and like some
Yeah.
mods in the team were giving out 10, 20 nodes. That's like, at the time, each node was worth 5k. That
Yeah.
is 50k just given out in their own protocols tokens. And guess what led to Atlas downfall, other than the founders being stealing money? It was too many emissions.
Yeah.
And part of that is giving out free tokens to the team. And the more we can avoid that, the more I will do about it.
DJ is asking if any other team members have opinions. We did have an allocation at the start, because it's what everyone does. Have a small allocation vested for 10 or 12 months and have a small portion each month. We lowered it down, and then Kinji and I started talking. At the end of the day, what is it that is not sustainable with these kind of projects? Is the liquidity. How do we fix this? Less sell pressure. What are we doing if we pay ourselves in our own token? Sell pressure. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. We've got our revenues, our services, which are gonna pay for the team, so we don't really need any tokens, and that's basically it. Obviously, we all wanted some tokens because if the price goes up, we could maybe make some stars, get more passive income, or just sell them off. But again, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, and it's been proven to not work overall. If you check any other project, they all paid in their own token. It just didn't work out. So that's why we went for that, and I think it's the correct decision.
The other thing about that I'll touch on is I have also launched a protocol that had 0 team allocation, and I'll say that what this does is incentivizes people to, push the protocol forward, and also to, push the protocol forward for the right reasons, A, and then B, also create more sustainability. So anything you can do to mitigate sell pressure is going to help the protocol. And it's not like I've said this numerous times. It's very dynamic. It's not just like one thing is going to fix the problem when it comes to DeFi. So you have to combine many different elements that mitigate the sell pressure, and this is a big one. Team sell pressure, team allocation is historically a very large part of that sell pressure. So removing that from the equation automatically puts you up and ahead in the game. So that's huge.
I also want our invest. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I also want to say that nobody on the team would have joined the team without understanding the model and agreeing to it. So that should be said as well.
I don't want our investors to be the exit liquidity for our team. Our investors are the kickstart for our team, and the project's success is sort of the exit liquidity, is where our team's getting paid from. Like, the more successful we are, the longer we'll be able to work with Solar and make it an even better product. So it's in everyone's best interest to make the project do well. Not only because that's where they're getting paid from, but because it's the only way they're getting paid. If the project does not do well, we'll have to be making harsh decisions. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it's definitely a possibility and something I've thought of. And decisions will be made accordingly to ensure the longevity of the project.
The other thing is that it's bullish because it forces the team to invest their own money into the protocol if they believe in it and to support it, and that creates more healthy market participants.
Yeah, Levi answered the question as well. Levi is our accountant and staff manager. That's another opinion you've got from the team. That makes 4 of us. Not sure if anyone else is here, but we all agree. At the end of the day, paying ourselves in our own token is not a good idea.
Excellent. I think that's probably one of the most exciting things about this protocol for a new investor coming in and knowing that they're getting a team that's trustworthy, driven, young, and energetic, and they're not sitting here, just raking in all these free tokens and dunking them. They're actually having to work for their what they're doing. So it's I think it is coming from the outside, even for somebody who is usually hesitant to jump into something on the lower levels of DeFi. This is something that's very interesting, because looking at this, we're in a bear market. You guys are building relationships and networking. This is a unique situation. Like, this could be something that hasn't been, this is a 1 in 100 type launch. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Just everything coming together as far as market sentiment, where we're at in the phase of the market, what we have on the horizon for DeFi and all of that stuff. There's going to be a lot of accumulation, and there may be some moments where you lose faith and stuff like that, but maintaining leadership in this space and through these times will ensure that when the market turns, that you guys do some special stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure if we've proven to be working through non-favorable market, like the things we can do when the shit turns around, like we've been working hard through like one of the harshest bear markets we've seen. Like it's been nuclear on the market, like shit's not looking good, but we've kept our head down. We've been working really hard. It's been 4 months and like 2 months and a half of full-time development on the project for me and the team. So we are committed to this idea, and we all agree that it's a good model, good ideas, good team behind it, and we're gonna show the good execution. That's salt that's missing.
Excellent. Is this project only for? This is coming from the community, from Great Sadiq. Is this project only for elite investors, or how about people with small funds? How would somebody who has less funds get into the protocol? There are different tiers of stars, right? Could you go over what the cheapest ones are? And
Yeah.
maybe if somebody even couldn't afford that, what would they do? They would go to Beethoven or something.
Yeah. Well, let's get started. Let's say you find yourself with $100. You've missed pre-sale, but you're still super bullish on solar and you believe in them. What you can do is you put your money, you add it to the liquidity pool on Beethoven X, and you start farming. Every liquidity pool on Beethoven X becomes inherently a farm because there is a certain minimum amount of swap fees on the protocol. Therefore, every single transaction, every single swap on the platform is earning all liquidity providers a certain amount. So what you would do if you had a little amount, $100, put it on the LP, you start farming, slowly building up your position, and whenever you have enough 5 Kelvin and 30% of the value, let me just do some math real quick, how much that would be. So that's 70, which is the average price we're aiming for, times 5 times 1.3. That'll be a total of $455 needed for our cheapest star. Like, we've kept every single kind of investor in mind. We've kept in mind people with smaller bags, or maybe people that maybe are not so bullish on our idea but still want to see how it plays out. They could still invest. They have lesser returns than those that put a higher amount of liquidity into us with one of our highest, most expensive star. And then we've got a middle ground for people that are like, I'm kind of bullish on this project, but I don't have so much money, or maybe I don't want to put that much. There is also a middle ground. We tried and take everyone into account here when it comes to the decisions we've made and the size of the investments that you can make. Let me just
Can
share.
you go over the exact amounts on each star?
Yeah, so we've got 3 tiers. The first one being called Proto Star. It costs 5 Kelvin plus 30% of the value of the Kelvin tokens in stablecoins, in this case USDC. We've got the Neutron Star, which is 10 Kelvin plus 30% of the value. And we've got Quasar, which is 30 Kelvin tokens plus 30% of the value in stables. The reason why we added a stable fee is in order to, instead of dumping the token whenever we have a purchase, We just take a part of this stable fee and we put it towards the liquidity pool, building a stronger liquidity, have a more stable price, and have less fluctuations, and have an overall healthier project. And on top of that, part of that money goes towards the treasury, and the other part goes towards paying the team, which is, important.
Absolutely.
And let me just drop the exact docs page
Yeah.
on
By
the
the way,
AMA chat if anyone wants to look into it.
I was gonna say all of the socials, everything including docs, are all pinned. Okay, so if you want to review this stuff, it's all there. The details will be there for all of this stuff regarding the stars, etc. So you can pull all of that info out of there if you need it. See, I'm looking through some community questions here. What is the projected market cap at launch, Kinsu?
It depends on the success of the pre-sale. I cannot give you an exact number just yet.
Okay.
I'll do you one better when it comes to Star. Our amazing artist has been working on a graphic to illustrate this, and we're having an article written about this just to, make it as less steep learning curve when you want to get into the project. I dropped the image on AMA chat.
Cool, thank you. We have a question here regarding the future. It says, how long till Kelvin is on a centralized exchange? But before we get there, what is the likelihood of transitioning away from the tax model and all of that, once you've shifted to the revenue share down the line? Let's say stars are no longer producing and you have completely shifted to the revenue share model. Is there a possibility that you remove taxes and we see Kelvin trading on a centralized exchange?
Actually, you might be able to see Kelvin trading on a centralized exchange before we transition to a revenue share model, because there is no inherent sale tax on the token itself, but it's on the liquidity pool. So our token has no tax, therefore can be listed on any centralized exchange should we, provide the tokens and go through the process necessary. It's a bridge that I want to cross when I'm at it. At the moment, it's not my priority to get listed on a centralized exchange. Our priority right now is to launch a solid product and, making sure it's running well.
Yeah, I think that Beethoven curveball with no tax thing may have been a blessing in disguise. Eh?
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, it's made us rethink our model and the ways we can improve it. And, we've done just that.
Yep, that's good. Excellent. That's more proof that you guys are able and willing to pivot on a dime if needed to keep up with what's necessary for success, and that's important. Dev123 says liquidity pools are used to facilitate DeFi, lending, staking, blah blah. Yeah, and many projects run into liquidity problems though. So what liquidity system or liquidity generation system will you guys use to increase liquidity for Solar?
Yeah, all of our services will increase our liquidity. The stable price bot will ensure that this liquidity is stable. Like, we don't want the price of our token to moonshot 20 times the launch price and then go back down another 30 times of what it was. Like, that doesn't help. Well, I'm sure it helps the early traders, but in the long term, I want everyone to have an equal chance when it comes to investing, whether you invest the first day or 2 months down the line. You have the same investment, you have the same projected returns as someone who invested the first day, except pre-sale, because pre-sale is what we need to get up and running. That's why we've limited so much the amount of tokens you can purchase. We want to make just enough to get up and running to where it doesn't become a strain on the protocol in the long term. Because if we had too large of a pre-sale, we allowed like big whales to get really big into the project early on. It might harm us when they decide to start claim dumping. If they control 50% of the emissions, they can dump 50% of the emissions every single day. and that's not something we want.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good. Okay. Great Sadiq again says it's known that we're in a very bearish market. Is there any guarantee that users are going to be able to obtain profits? Well, first of all, I'll just say that you can't guarantee anything. This is crypto, right? Nothing is guaranteed, but if users invest in solar from the beginning of the project, do you think that how confident are you during this bear market? I'm trying to rephrase this. That we'll be able to provide sustainable yields for users.
Oh, I am, I'd dare even say 100% because our model doesn't entirely rely on consonomics and new liquidity coming in. I can market myself to build products for other people. Should thing comes to worse, I'll be the only person at Solar, and I'll be grinding my ass off to ensure every single person that invested in us has their money back. I'll grind websites, I'll grind protocols, I'll grind whatever it needs to ensure everyone gets their money back. And let's say the pre-sale isn't as successful as we're hoping. What happens then? I think that's even better for those that invest. Like if it's not as successful, let's say there is 10 buyers and we have 10 stars. And we make this deal with Void where the protocol generates $50,000 out of a single project. 20%, 25% of that money is going back to investors. Now, that 25% is $12,500. Those 10 stars, if you participated in pre-sale, it was $600 each. You've essentially doubled your money just with one of the projects we're building. And down the line, we'll be building more, and then your NFT becomes tradable. Therefore, that star that you earlier invested, you've cashed in, double your initial investment, and now let's say, oh, I hate these people, I don't like them anymore. You can liquidate your position. You can sell your share of the company to someone that wants it, that believes in us. So, we are not successful. We've got a backup plan. We've thought of every single scenario possible in this, especially with the current state of the market.
That's something that I didn't even know until recently. That the revenue share stays the same regardless of how many participants. So, like, this is only for stars holders, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Token holders do not apply. It's just star holders, which is, when you're participating in pre-sale, the only thing you can do with the token is not a liquid token. You can only redeem it for stars at no extra cost. So if you buy 30 tokens in pre-sale, enough to buy a Quasar, our biggest yield generating star, you can redeem those 30 tokens for a Quasar. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing else.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that is a huge thing that's going to push this to a certain, there's a certain level where it needs to be pushed for that revenue share to be diluted enough for people to stop aping. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a really bullish scenario. Especially if you guys start generating a lot of revenue and you guys are pumping out, products for all these different protocols, which as you guys move along will continue to increase, right?
Yeah, like the only reason why it's taken us so long to develop Solar is because we've taken a very careful and modular approach. One of our Solidity developers kind of taking the lead when it comes to Solidity development. He tends to over-engineer things a bit. As much as I love him, he overthinks things a bit, and he's over-extracted every single component of the Solar contracts. So now whenever a project needs anything that's currently part of the Solar ecosystem, we've already got it. We just need to put it together and parameterize it. He's listening here, like OX Fluffy Beard. This guy is crazy. I'm so happy to be working with him. And our pre-sale contract can apply to so many different projects. Our blacklist module can apply to any ERC20 or ERC777. They're backwards compatible. Our role manager module can apply to so many different projects. We've built everything in a way where it's like building blocks. So we've put together the building blocks to build this project, but we can rearrange these building blocks and add some more new ones and build an entirely different project, just adding bits and pieces of the stuff we've already built on top of new stuff. And the more we build, if we since we'll be taking the same approach, the easier it will be in the future to build new products, because at the end of the day, there's only the limit is your imagination, but all projects need an ERC20. Most projects need some sort of tag. They need some sort of whitelist, blacklist, role management. We've already got all of that. We just need to put it together and tailor it to their needs.
I'm seeing like a drag and drop type service you guys could provide that's even hands off for people to just pay, go to a website, what kind of token do you want to make? Do you want this feature, that feature? Yes, no. This is your total cost at the end, and just have it be completely autonomous.
Yeah, I didn't wanna touch too much into this, but some alpha there. This is something we've considered. Drag and drop, build your contract, and we've approached our contracts with this standard called Diamond Standard, which is like a basically proxy contract on crack. It's basically a proxy contract with multiple contracts behind it, and then the calls get redirected to each contract accordingly to whatever you need. So what this allows us would be we can have pieces of our logic on chain, like pieces of logic that are audited, that are proven to be safe, and the projects just deploy an interface that interacts with our business logic. Therefore, it's saving them the cost of auditing. Like, you can build a project on top of our existing business logic that's already secure, and it's a service we provide, and we just take a small cut of it.
Yeah, there's been people who provide services like this, like DX, DX sale and stuff, and it's just always been, there's been a lot left to be desired with it, Like, you can do a regular ERC20 with no features and nothing, or you can do an ERC with ERC20 with a tax. I think it's like a safe moon model, and that's it. And seeing something new in that space, or seeing you take that to the next level, would be really cool to see. And that's something
we definitely want to do in the future.
One thing I'll add is, now that we're discussing this, is that model, that service can be provided on any EVM chain at the click of a fucking button. So it's you can attack all markets with that, and then you're not limited to any one chain's liquidity or any one chain's builders, and that is really bullish because you open yourself up to so much more liquidity, and that's money coming into Solar.
Yeah, it's almost as if we've got really cool ideas and innovative ideas, and a well thought out product.
Holy shit! All right, well, sorry, I'm blowing my mind. I've done AMAs with Kinsu before. I'm part of the team helping him with partnerships and stuff, and I still am learning stuff that is just fucking me up. All right, so I hope that helps everybody here understand how bullish this team is. Honestly, really cool stuff, dude. I think anybody listening who's paying attention should understand that this is a really unique opportunity. Is there any documentation or announcements regarding Beethoven? I believe there is not yet. It's not an official solid partnership yet, as we haven't launched, and the details about launch are not solidified. But I believe getting closer towards launch day, we'll most likely at least get an announcement from Beethoven as far as like a launch happening and stuff.
Yeah, we'll be crossing that bridge shortly, but not yet.
Website buttons for mint, buy, start earning are not working. Are we waiting for the launch? Milkman asks.
Yeah, they're not working because it's still not there. Maybe I should add a little disclaimer, or just not allow you to click. I'll consider it. Thank you.
Let's see.
Actually, we've got a DApp reveal in a couple hours. Whenever we finish all the AMAs, I had quite a busy evening. I'm gonna be dropping our DApp with the countdown for the pre-sale, and the whitelist checker won't be ready just yet because we still have to deploy the final contract. But you'll have a countdown, and once the pre-sale starts, you'll be able to check whether you're whitelisted or not. Hopefully a bit earlier, but we'll see.
Sweet. Awesome. And let's wrap this up with couple more community questions, and then we're gonna jump into the giveaways because we've already been here about an hour and 15. So,
Whoops.
no problem. This happens. We run over pretty much every time. It's a good conversation. So,
No, it's extra time is billable, so we'll put it on Kinsu's account.
Oh, good thing I'm broke.
All right, now here we go. What makes Fantom the right blockchain?
First of all, I am a Fantom believer. They've got the best tech out there, and I'm really into tech myself, and I believe that's going to be one of the things driving Fantom forward in the future on the L1 race. They've got, extremely cheap fees, really fast transaction speed, and really good scalability, and they're working on their own Fantom virtual machine for L2s on top of Fantom. And just tech is amazing. Teams, fundamentals are there. They're working hard. Their marketing person is doing amazing. They're building and creating bridges and all that stuff. On top of that, there is, all the connections I have made myself, as well as the connections Trading Tulips has brought into the team, are helping us a lot when it comes to launching and finding people we can work with and promote each other, work together for a better future. And there is a lack of a project like this on the Fantom ecosystem, and that's what we're trying to provide.
Yeah. One thing I'll also touch on is there is concern. It seems like the concern was that a lot of volume has left Fantom. TVL has left. A lot of liquidity has gone off chain, and I think it's important for people to know that this happens. These blockchains go in phases the same way the market does. There's money leaving almost every blockchain right now. Yes, Fantom had additional FUD and some other factors that played into it, but the money will come back. The tech has not changed. The DeFi has not changed. And if you go around onto any blockchain and try to do the things you can do on Fantom in DeFi, you cannot. Okay? And that's just the bottom line. And that's one of the stronger reasons why Solar has decided to build on Fantom, and also why, I'm confident that all of the liquidity that left Fantom will eventually make its way back. That's the short answer. Anyway, thank you guys for your time. It's been really nice digging into this stuff again, and I'm learning stuff every day still. So if you think you learned everything there is to learn about Solar just now, you did not. Please go through all of those links and check the docs out. There's a lot of stuff. And yeah, it did feel like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I looked at my clock and it had already been an hour. I could ramble about Solar all day.
Yeah. It's always like this, the good talks, man. Passionate people, it makes for good AMAs.
Yeah, I just want to say, if any questions didn't get answered, just head to our Discord server, drop them down in general chat, and I'm sure someone will be able to answer them. Probably Kinju and I, but we also have a group of moderators and everything working there, so just drop them there.
This has been our 25th Investors AMA at the TulipDAO with Solar Protocol. Tomorrow is the pre-sale. That's going to be July 1st. Right, Kinsu?
Yep. July 1st, 7 p.m. UTC, we'll have our private whitelist. Then we'll move towards Noteburst whitelist, and then just whatever tokens are left will go towards the public.
Right, you heard it here first. Get your USDCs ready, you little money grubbing degens. We'll see you next time. Thank you for coming out.
Let's go.